Good morning, minions, and welcome to episode 6 of No More Mr. Fat Guy TV. Now, I think last week we started getting into the idea of how to get started with your personal journey into fitness. So I thought we'd basically continue that this week. I really want to get into a couple of areas. The first part really just a little bit more about maybe why you might make a start to improving your fitness, and why specifically fitness, and more specifically running, and then really some practicalities around really how I got started, and how it would be very, very simple. There's some simple steps and some simple tools and techniques and approaches that you can take that can basically get you started right away. So we get into the first part of that. Why fitness? You may be watching this and really the changes you're thinking of making are not necessarily, you don't necessarily have a goal to run a marathon, a half marathon. You may be looking to make changes business-wise or career-wise, and so you might kind of think, well, fitness aspects maybe not so relevant to me. But really, no matter what it is you want to do with life, no matter what you want to be in life, no matter what you might dream your life to be, it's so much easier, and it's so much, things flow so much better if you've got some basic foundations in place, and that's with your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and to a degree spiritual health. Get all those things aligned, and things really do click into place. Now, just to illustrate that, if we go back a few years, and if I look, I was actually looking at some old photographs earlier this week, and even just looking at the old me, photographs that when you look at it, you just think the eyes are slightly dimmer, slightly duller. There was a sense of a little bit of unhappiness you could just see. And that just really flows on and impacts everything else, because if you're feeling less than 100% about yourself, you're feeling less than 100% about your life, then you really do lack the drive and the commitment and the belief to be doing other things. So you go back a couple of years, and I was very much in that place, having gone through a process where, just straight away, when we get into doing the basic the basic techniques that you can make a start today, really just making those changes already straight away, I started to feel an impact in terms of how I felt and the energy levels and that kind of thing. So you go through a longer process, and you really do establish a good foundation of fitness and a good foundation of good health for yourself. Then things really do. You just feel, it's all down to feeling. You feel lighter, you feel happier, your thinking develops more clarity. You start to get an understanding of what you really want from life. You start to get a clearer vision of what you want your life to be, and once you can start seeing how you want it to be, it's easier to move towards. And as I say, that really does apply to anything. So whether it's romantically, whether it's professionally, business-wise, whether it is just health and fitness, maybe it is just health and fitness that is driving you. But whatever it is, once you get it clear in your head of what it is that you want, then you can actually make a move towards that. And getting into a good place physically, health-wise and fitness-wise will really help you do that. And I promise you that if you go through the process and you work through your own personal journey to health and fitness, you will really start to see that what I'm saying is not make-believe. It's not it sounds fantastic. I sometimes look back, and when I tell people, and I just really say it is completely two different people, it's two different lives, it's two different mindsets, two different perspectives. I think many years ago somebody actually asked me, what's your ambition in life? You know, and I sort of came out with a bit of a right-on hippie, greeny kind of reply and said, I'd love to leave this planet. Love to leave this planet having stop and start again. I would love to leave this planet in no worse a state for me having been here. And it sounded very right on and green and eco-friendly, but when you actually stop and analyse it, I was really saying, I want to leave this planet as if I had never existed. And that's really quite sad. It's really quite a sad outlook on life to have that ambition. You asked me today, and it's a case of, I want to leave this planet. No, actually, I don't want to leave this planet. I want it to go on forever. There's so much to do and so much to explore. But given that I do, when I do, I want to leave this planet improved and somehow change for the fact that I've been here and changed in a positive way. And that's a massive difference to what I would have said a couple of years ago. So anyway, so that's enough of all that. If we look now, like the actual practicalities of getting started, and I've had a couple of friends that I used to work with have recently, one from school I think, and one from work, but people have got into it, and they're starting to ask questions around, so how do I do it? Because the classic thing is that you join the gym, for 3 months and then pay 9 months of membership without going. But what I did this time around, it was different, was to take that step-by-step approach, and the 3 things that you start with is basically water. Was a big one for me. I hated water. I hated the taste of water. It just tasted funny to me. That's how I describe it. Water tasted funny. Britt was very, very keen to get me to up my intake. And I was drinking like 500 mils of water a day and thinking I was doing a good job. I ended up drinking about 3 litres a day. But what I did is almost immediately as I was drinking, I think probably about half a dozen cups of strong coffee a day at least. I was drinking with a couple of sugars. I was drinking at least 2 bottles of V Black or Red Bull energy drink every day, and that was keeping me going. I mean, I basically had a lifestyle that was very little sleep, not so much on the stress side. I wouldn't say I was stressed, but really these energy drinks and caffeine and nicotine were basically keeping me awake, because they were keeping me going as far as I was concerned. Basically, I cut the caffeine out. Nicotine had already stopped, but I cut the caffeine out, cut the energy drinks out, and started drinking water. Britt told me that my body would start to crave it, and I didn't believe her. Well, I think it was within a couple of weeks, I really felt as though I'd gone from a desert that had been suffering drought for years and years and years, to finally that the water table had been completely replenished, and now I was just adding to that, and the feeling was just amazing. I had more energy from drinking water than I've ever got from drinking energy drinks. I'm sorry if anybody is going to lose out commercially on this, but water is absolutely by far and away the best energy drink that you could possibly consume. So water. The second one was really not even, don't even use the word diet. Think in terms of eating better, eating more healthily. But to start with, don't even worry about what you're eating. When I say that, watch what you're eating. Take note of what you're eating, because as soon as you start thinking about what you're shoving in here, and it ticks away in there, and you're thinking, I'm making an effort, and then you realise that decisions you make to put things in here start to get better. They start to improve. You start to think in terms of, is this really taking me towards where I want to be, or is this yet more behaviours and eating habits that are just going to continue to pile on the pounds and make me the unhealthy person that I am? So really, so the water and thinking about what you're consuming, and you'll find naturally that it'll start to improve. And later on, you will obviously get into more planned eating, or at least just better habits and not eating certain foods. But just really, to start with, just think about it. Just think about what you're eating. And then really the third one for me is kind of two things, but they're two sides of the same coin, and that's really support and accountability. Now, I got massive support and massive accountability by doing things quite extreme. Because of two reasons really. I'm not particularly good at journaling. I'm not particularly good at writing things down. I'm not particularly good at, or I'm getting better now actually, but I wasn't particularly good at keeping a diary type of situation. But I was blogging. I'm online all the time because my work is very much IT based, so I was just online a lot. And so I had this idea that I would just start this blog called No More Mr. Fat Guy. In fact, to start with, I think it was going to be called Run Fat Boy Run, but No More Mr. Fat Guy kind of appealed a bit better. Yeah, I mean, essentially, my blog was my accountability tool. My blog and my Facebook page, I started those two, and I think when I first posted on Facebook what I was going to do, my finger hesitated over the send button for a long time, just wondering what the reaction was going to be, wondering how many heart attacks were going to be caused, because I know that I've basically been known as the most unsporty person that anybody knows really, and so I was about to post to the world that I was aiming to run a marathon. But I mean, straight away, I mean, basically, I mean, the page had, most of my friends and family have rallied round and been on there and have been there to check that everything's, that I'm sticking to what I'm saying. And in my mind, because I've got in my head, the whole world was watching, and having the whole world watching is a bit of a motivation, because you kind of don't want to let the whole world down. But yeah, so that did its job for some time. The Facebook running community I didn't even know about that then. I mean, where my page is now is just unbelievable. But it was just, there was a relatively small audience. But it was also a very useful tool for allowing Brit to monitor remotely, to be able to see that what I was eating, because I was basically diarising everything I was putting in my mouth, diarising my moods, journaling how much water I was drinking, the exercise that I was doing. And so really that was that generated accountability, but it also gave me that support. And I think if you don't have either of those, if you don't have a little bit of accountability, at least, then it's too easy to slip back, because you will still. I mean, your old you, or the version of you that's there now, that's in these bad behaviours that you want to change, is going to fight. It's very comfortable. That person's very comfortable with being there, and doesn't want to not exist anymore. So you're going to have a bit of a battle on your hands, and you're going to have to. It's going to be pulling you back. So if you've got a little bit of accountability, that will help you keep going. That will help you win that fight. And also support. If you've got support of friends, support of family, support of work colleagues, and even a random scattering of complete strangers, that people will. People want you to succeed. People want you to have a better life. People want you to achieve what you're setting out to achieve, because at the end of the day, if one more happier person in the world is making the world a better place. And apart from a few cynical old cynical people that can't bear to see other people happy, the vast majority of people will be behind you and supporting you all the way. So really, if you take anything away from this, is that making these changes and getting started is going to completely revolutionise your life. It's going to turn it upside down if you let it. You're going to get so much more done, whatever it is you're setting out to achieve. And apart from the actual exercise aspect of it, really water, drink lots of it, keep a diary, keep a blog, keep whatever, to make you really think about what you're eating, and make sure you've got that support and accountability. And if you want that support and accountability, one of the best places to start is either with you're going to get it from a personal trainer, but you're going to get it from your friends and your family, and you can get it from Facebook, because the people on the running and fitness community on Facebook will really get behind you and really support you. So these options are available to you. They're all free, or relatively free. They're all easily accessible by most people. So do it. and do it now, and you know, you'll thank yourself. Give it 18 months, whatever it takes, 6 months, 2 years, whatever it takes from now till when you've got there. You will just be so grateful that and so happy that you did that, and it'll be worth it. So until next week, I'll leave you with those thoughts and speak to you soon. Bye.